All right, listen up, because this one's layered. The streets of Memphis have spoken. Moneybagg Yo is officially banned. His own crew, the same people he grew up with, put a permanent hold on him. No coming back. And most folks think they know why. Here's the wild part. He didn't snitch, didn't catch a case, didn't sing to the feds. He simply signed a record deal. That one signature cost him everything he came from. But why? Why would one deal get a man permanently banned from his own city? That's the question nobody's fully answering, because the truth goes way deeper than just North Memphis versus South Memphis. There was a 2010 shooting with 6 victims, a diss track with Moneybagg right in the background, a jailhouse recording declaring war, a father publicly calling his own son a sellout online, and a Vegas birthday party where someone got grazed by a bullet. This is the full picture. Every layer, every link, every violation. Before we dive into the beef, you have to understand where this man came from, because it makes everything hit differently. Diario Dwayne White Jr., that's his government name, was born and raised in South Memphis, Tennessee. And fam, South Memphis isn't for the weak. He grew up with a single mother and 2 siblings. Money was always tight. This wasn't just rough patches, it was survival mode daily. By 14, the streets were calling louder than school. He started skipping class, shooting dice under the bleachers, running with the wrong crowd. He said it himself. I skipped class, shot dice, typical hoodish stuff. I just didn't really go to school. Stayed out, smoked, did all the stuff I wasn't supposed to do. By 15, he dropped out entirely. And here's the kicker. He also had his first child, a little girl. Teenage dropout, deep in the streets, with a baby to feed. Most people would crack under that pressure, but Moneybagg, he kept grinding. His stomping grounds were the Harold Von Block in South Memphis, and he was deep in street dealings. Multiple attempts on his life. One incident left a woman hospitalized with 2 gunshot wounds. He was living on borrowed time before he even hit 20. But through it all, hip-hop never left him. He grew up on Boosie, Yo Gotti, Juvenile, Future. The culture was in his blood. Seeing homies get money through music lit something inside him. What started as a side hustle became a calling. That's when Diario Dwayne White Jr. became Moneybagg Yo. Even chasing his dreams, the streets still reached for him. At a family picnic on August 8th, shots rang his way. Family right there. That was the wake-up call. Street life and family life colliding, and something had to give. Shortly after, he got arrested on top of everything else, and that's when he made a decision. All in on music. In February 2011, Moneybagg dropped his first official single, F You, Pay Me. Raw energy. Memphis streets buzzed. But what set him apart wasn't just talent, it was the grind. While others blew money on jewelry and gambling, he reinvested every dollar into studio time, marketing, and features, down to his last dime multiple times, but he pushed. By 2016, it all clicked. He dropped the mixtape Federal, raw and unfiltered. Everything bottled up, unleashed, under his label, Bread Gang, a nod to Yo Gotti. All right, now this is where the story really gets messy. Moneybagg wasn't giving the full picture. Rewind to 2010 Thanksgiving weekend, outside Level 2 nightclub, a shooting went down. Yo Gotti and 2 other men turned themselves in. 6 people got shot. 6! This wasn't some small scuffle, it was serious. And it all started over a beef between Yo Gotti and a Memphis rapper named OG Boo Dirty. Here's where it gets personal. OG Boo Dirty is the brother of Stupid Duke, the same Stupid Duke who would later publicly ban Moneybagg from Memphis. That's not a coincidence, that's family, that's blood. Gotti's crew shot up the situation, and Moneybagg's crew, Young Mob, had serious smoke with CMG over it. In 2013, OG Boo Dirty dropped a diss track directly aimed at Yo Gotti called Get CMG, And if you watch the video, you can see Moneybagg right there in the cut. So when Moneybagg later said it's just a North-South rivalry, nothing personal, people from his hood weren't buying it. To them, this wasn't just rivalry. People had been shot. He knew the history. He was literally in the footage. Signing with Gotti wasn't just moving on. It was choosing sides, linking with the people who had shed blood on his block. That's the violation. That's why he's forever smoked. Fast forward to 2020, and things hit another level. A recording surfaces online. Stupid Duke in jail, speaking directly to Moneybagg. He doesn't mince words. Moneybagg crossed the line. It's smoke for life. He can never come back. Duke and Moneybagg go way back, from the young mob days. He knew Moneybagg before the fame, before the deals. From Duke's perspective, once the checks started and the cameras flashed, Moneybagg switched up, left his day ones behind, and rolled with the people they'd been beefing with. Duke made it clear, this wasn't just fame or jealousy, it was loyalty. Specifically, a song Moneybagg did with someone affiliated with Young Mob's enemies. That alone, violation on top of violation. The message, Memphis is closed to you. Moneybagg didn't stay silent. In 2020, he dropped Thinking Out Loud, addressing everything. He laid out his side. He wasn't betraying anyone. He saw an opportunity to get out of the streets and he took it. Signing with Gotti wasn't to hurt his people. It was to feed his family and build something real. His argument? I saw a bigger vision. You can be mad about it, but the opportunity wasn't going to wait forever. He also revealed he had sent Stupid Duke money while Duke was locked up before any of this went public. If true, that's huge. It suggests Duke might have other motives for going public, not just principle. Moneybagg put it plainly. The opportunity came and went, and people didn't understand his vision.
But the streets weren't done. They wanted accountability. And just when you thought it couldn't get messier, enter H.D. White, claiming to be Moneybagg Yo's father. He took to social media, publicly calling out his son, posting old photos with the caption, "Before the money, when everything was cool, now he doesn't know us anymore." Then he followed up with even more shade. "Your people will watch you struggle. Go help somebody who would never help them. If the shoe were on the other foot, you wished me a happy birthday. F you and your birthday." That last line references a bar from one of Moneybagg's songs where his dad supposedly called on his birthday, not to say happy birthday, but to ask for money. Now Moneybagg's dealing with both his father and his homies publicly coming at him. H.D. White is also a rapper, and Moneybagg has never featured him or even mentioned him positively. So yeah, things are complicated. Alright fam, now we're peeling back the layers even more. This relationship between Moneybagg Yo and his people goes way deeper than the CMG deal. Maybe the tension was always simmering. Maybe H.D. White wasn't supportive back when it mattered most. Maybe there's a whole backstory to why Moneybagg keeps his distance that nobody online really knows. Real recognize real, and sometimes the people who come at you hardest when you blow up, they're the ones who weren't around grinding at ground zero. Here's a piece most people overlook. When you're banned from your own city, your day ones have permanently declared smoke, and you're a rising artist with money and clout, you need protection, not just security guards, real street weight. Enter Big 30, Memphis rapper, yes, but more than that, credibility, respect, ties that make people pause. When Moneybagg brought Big 30 into his circle and onto CMG, that wasn't just a music move, it was strategic. He was securing someone with enough weight to make the ops think twice. Chess move, fam. Cut off from your hood. Old homies declaring on-site situations. You can't lean on them, so you build a new circle. Big 30 fit perfectly. Signing him made it clear. Moneybagg wasn't just at CMG to make music. He was building a whole new infrastructure. In Memphis, if you ain't protected, you're a target, period. Once Moneybagg landed officially at CMG, it felt like the whole industry started testing him. And you gotta understand, sign with Yo Gotti, you inherit all his beefs. The label isn't just a record deal, it's an alliance. Alliances come with enemies. First big public conflict, NBA Youngboy. In 2017, Moneybagg and Youngboy dropped a joint mixtape, Fed Baby. Seemed like a genuine collab at first, but out of nowhere, Youngboy stopped promoting, started throwing shots online, and the vibe flipped. Moneybagg stayed professional, didn't get in the back and forth. Eventually, they reportedly squashed it behind closed doors. Then there was Roe, signed to Gucci Mane's 2017 label, throwing shots at Moneybagg, Yo Gotti, and Black Youngster all at once. When Moneybagg addressed it on The Breakfast Club, he gave context. Roe claimed he wasn't looking for beef, just peace. Believe Roe or Moneybagg? Depends on who you ask. The pattern was clear. Moneybagg barely settled into CMG and already juggling conflicts from every angle. That's the tax for signing with a label that's been entrenched as long as CMG. Then September 2020 hit, and things stopped being just online drama. Moneybagg was celebrating his birthday in Vegas, outside Aria Resort and Casino, one of his biggest nights yet, when shots rang out. Police say a group near the valet got into an argument and someone opened fire. One of Moneybagg's girlfriend's friends got grazed by a bullet, hospitalized briefly, then released. Moneybagg denied being the target, said it was random, but timing impossible to ignore. Streets had already declared permanent smoke on him, former homies talking reckless, and now bullets outside his birthday party. Maybe a coincidence, maybe exactly what it looked like. Either way, Moneybagg's world just got a lot more dangerous. His past and present were colliding fast. Zoom out, fam. This isn't just Moneybagg's story. It's about a choice that thousands of dudes from the hood face and nobody really talks about. What do you do when your come-up requires moving in a direction your environment sees as a violation? He made his choice, and he paid socially. Lost his hood, his crew, maybe even his relationship with his father. People who should have been his foundation called him a sellout, put him on blast publicly. But here's the reality. There were real bodies tied to this beef. CMG in South Memphis had a violent history. OG Boo Dirty situation wasn't just rap trauma. 6 people got shot. Stupid Duke's brother was involved. When Moneybagg called it just a rivalry, people lived it. So who's right? That's the debate the streets have been having for years. Bottom line, Moneybagg made a calculated decision, rose to the top, and now he's one of the most successful rappers out there, doing 200K nights, platform, security, resources, stuff dudes from his block could only dream of. But he built it on a foundation his old crew sees as cracked. In Memphis, that doesn't fade. Drop your thoughts. Did Moneybagg play it smart or cross a line?